Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Ever stopped and, really wondered what ancient spiritual teachers actually ate? Was it just roots and berries? Or maybe something a bit more complicated? Today, we're digging into a moment of, well, real tension. A direct challenge made to the Buddha himself, questioning his integrity. Our deep dive is into the Buddha's view on meat eating. It's surprisingly nuanced, actually, and it's recorded in this key text, the Jīvakasuttaṃ. So our mission today is to really unpack this conversation between a householder, Jīvaka, and the Buddha. We want to get a handle on the precise rules and the deep ethical thinking around food, especially meat, in early Buddhism for monks. You might be surprised by the focus on intention and, well, responsibility. It really reshapes things.
Absolutely. And this isn't some, theoretical discussion in isolation. It's happening in Rajagaha, right, in Jīvaka's own mango grove. And Jīvaka isn't just like casually asking. He's bringing a direct question, almost an accusation, you could say, probably because of rumors he'd heard about the Buddha and his followers. It's a very practical kind of real-world situation.
Yeah, and Jīvaka really doesn't pull any punches. He gets straight to it. He asks something like, "Sir, we've heard people kill animals specifically for you, for Saṅgha, that's the Buddha, and that you knowingly eat this meat prepared just for you." He basically wants to know, is this true? Or is this just slander?
And the Buddha's response is immediate, completely clear. He says, nope, those who say this are not speaking my words. They slander me with what is not true.
Yeah.
And then he immediately clarifies. He lays out three very specific conditions where a monk absolutely must not eat meat. These are, if you have seen, the sthitai in Pali, the animal killed specifically for you. Or, if you have heard sutta, that it was killed for you. Or, and this is important, if you even suspect permissible that it was killed for you. Seen, heard, or suspected.
Okay, hang on. So it's not the meat itself. It's about the monk's awareness, like their direct knowledge or involvement, or even just a strong suspicion.
Exactly.
So the flip side, then, is that a monk can eat meat if it's unseen, unheard, and unsuspected to have been killed for them.
That's right.
Wow, that really shifts things, doesn't it? It moves the focus away from the food type towards the intention and the knowledge of the person eating it. So what does that tell us about how a monk should relate to their food if it's not just about following a simple dietary rule?
It tells us that the monk's inner state, their purity of mind, is what's really paramount. The Buddha gives us examples. See, imagine a monk living near a village. And this monk is just radiating boundless loving kindness, metta in all directions, up, down, across, everywhere. It's not just a nice thought. It's this deep, steady goodwill to all beings. Okay, so then a householder, maybe impressed by this monk, invites him for a meal. The monk accepts, goes, and eats the food, offered described as fine alms food. But here's the crucial bit. He eats without attachment. He's not craving it, not clinging to the taste, not thinking, oh, I hope I get this again tomorrow. He eats just seeing its impermanence, knowing it's just fuel to keep him going on the path to liberation.
Right, okay. And then the Buddha turns back to Jīvaka, the questioner. He asks him directly, "Jīvaka, do you think that monk at that moment is intending any harm to himself, to others, to both?" And Jīvaka's answer is pretty definite, right? He says no.
A clear no, sir.
And that's where the Buddha says the monk is eating blameless food. So it's not just about the food's origin. It's fundamentally about the state of mind during consumption and, critically, getting rid of those negative mental states.
Precisely. It's about the inner landscape. Jīvaka even comments, he'd heard this saying, Brahma is a dweller in metta, like the highest divine state is loving kindness. And now he says he sees the Buddha himself living that way. The Buddha confirms this, explaining that in a Tathāgata, a fully awakened one, things like lust, hatred, delusion, the roots of ill will, they're completely gone, uprooted, he says, like a palm tree stump that can't regrow.
Well,
And he gives similar examples. It's not just metta. The same applies if the monk is radiating compassion, karudo, or sympathetic joy, mudita, or even equanimity, upekkha. The key is the total absence of mental static, no vexation, no aversion, no anger. That's what makes the consumption blameless from the monk's side.
okay, the monk's mind is key. Got it. But what about, well, the other side of the coin? The person who actually did the killing. Does their intention matter in the Buddha's view, even if the monk is blameless? That feels like a really important piece of the ethical puzzle here.
Oh, absolutely crucial. And this is where the Buddha clearly assigns the karmic weight, the responsibility. He lists 5 specific ways a householder piles up negative karma or demerit if they kill an animal specifically for a Buddha or one of his disciples. First, just giving the order, go get that animal. That's step 1 in creating demerit. Second, the suffering the animal feels just being led there, maybe with a rope or a hook. That adds to the negative karma. Third, giving the specific order, okay, go slaughter this animal now. More demerit. Fourth, the actual suffering and distress of the animal during the killing. And fifth, offering something considered a kapiena, which means like improper or unsuitable in this context, carrying that negative karmic load to the Buddha or the disciple.
Wow, 5 specific points.
Yes, and they really underline the negative consequences, the bad karma. Stick with the doer of the action, the one who kills with that specific intention, especially when it's done, supposedly, for a spiritual teacher. It's quite a radical way of looking at moral responsibility.
So, pulling this together, what it means is the burden, the negativity, lies with the person doing the intentional killing, not automatically with the monk who might later eat some food, provided they didn't see, hear, or suspect it was killed for them.
That's the essence of it.
Well, it's a very different ethical framework than just a simple vegetarian good, non-vegetarian bad kind of rule, isn't it?
Very different.
Yeah.
Much more focused on mind states and direct causal links.
And how did Jīvaka react to all this detailed breakdown? He seems pretty impressed based on the text. He exclaims, "Wonderful, sir. Amazing. Truly, monks partake of blameless food, irreproachable food."
Yes, his understanding seems immediate and quite profound. He doesn't just agree politely. He instantly declares he's taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dhamma, the teachings, and the Saṅgha, the monastic community. He asks to be accepted as a lay follower from that day on. It really shows how powerful and perhaps relieving the Buddha's clear explanation was for him.
So, wrapping up our deep dive here, the Buddha's teaching on meat isn't a straightforward yes or no. It's really a deep look into intention, into awareness, and into the purity of mind for both the eater and the provider. It seems to be all about freedom from those mental poisons, greed, hatred, delusion, and understanding the direct results, the karma of intentional killing.
Exactly. It brings it back again and again to ethical conduct and the primary goal of ending suffering. Not just your own suffering, but not causing suffering for others either, through your direct intention or actions. The inner state and the intention are really paramount.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, even today? How much does the intention behind our own choices, what we eat, how we get it, even our mindset while we're consuming it, how much does that shape our own well-being and maybe the world around us? Something to chew on, perhaps, until our next deep dive.